Good day everyone, I am Shanica Rosales and in this video I'm gonna discuss with you what is gene therapy. But before that we will recap the previous chapter which is the nano world that contains atoms and molecules was introduced. So now this chapter we will now focus on the developments in the nano world as applied to the animate or the living. When identifying the contribution of technology to biology, the first place to look would be the field of human health. The whole vast concerns of human health, including aging, disease treatment and prevention, and diet, and also general lifestyle, have greatly benefited from this technology. So, before we elaborate more what is gene therapy, we will now talk first medicine. So, what is medicine? Medicine is one of the examples of scientific and technological innovation that made a breakthrough in the area of human health. Yes, medicine is a prime example of scientific and technological innovation that has significantly advanced human health over the centuries. The evolution of medicine encompasses various developments that have transformed how diseases are understood, diagnosed, and treated, ultimately leading to improved health outcomes and increased life expectancy. So now let's talk about what is gene therapy. So gene therapy, the transplantation of normal genes into cells in place of missing or defective ones in order to correct genetic disorders. Gene therapy is a biomedical approach that aims to treat or prevent diseases by modifying the genetic makeup of an individual's cells. The first one is transplantation of normal genes. This involves producing healthy copies of genes into cells. These normal genes are often brought into the body using vectors, which are typically modified viruses or other delivery systems designed to carry the therapeutic genes into target cells. The second one is cells in place of missing or defective ones. Many genetic disorders arise because certain genes are absent, mutated, or not functioning properly. Gene therapy seeks to replace these faulty genes with functioning copies. And the third, correct genetic disorders. So, the ultimate aim of gene therapy is to correct the underlying genetic issues that lead to the symptoms of a disease. By restoring the normal function of genes, the therapy can alleviate or even cure the diseases, improving the patient's health. Gene therapy has the potential for significant advancements in treating a wide range of genetic disorders, but it also presents challenges including safety concerns, ethical considerations, and the need for the effective delivery method. Now, the earliest form of gene therapy, known as gene transfer or gene addition, was developed too. The first is introduce a new gene into cells to help fight a disease. Introducing a new gene into cells a is a promising approach in gene therapy aimed at treating various diseases, including genetic disorders and certain types of cancers. This method utilizes techniques like viral vectors, electroporation, affective cells, allowing them to produce proteins that can help combat this disease. And next, introduce a non-faulty copy of a gene to stand in for the altered copy causing diseases. Introducing a non-faulty copy of a gene is a key strategy in the treatment of genetic disease resulting from mutations in specific genes. This approach aims to provide a functional version of a gene that can compensate for the defective one effectively restoring normal protein function. So, both strategies introducing a new therapeutic gene, yes, and it also providing a non-faulty version and disease. So, it causing gene capitalize on the principles of gene therapy to address underlying genetic causes of disease. So, these approaches have been the subject of significant research and clinical trials, showing potential for treating a wide range of genetic disorders, metabolic disease, and also cancers. And I saw, is gene therapy safe? What do you say? So yes, gene therapy is innovative medical approach that involves altering or manipulating the genes within a person's cells to treat or prevent disease. While it has shown promise from treating various disease, careful considerations of its risk and ongoing research are crucial to ensure it is both safe and effective for patients. So, gene therapy is under study to determine whether it could be used to treat disease. Current research is evaluating the safety of gene therapy. Future studies will test whether it is effective treatment option. So gene therapy is a cutting-edge medical strategy designed to treat or prevent disease by altering genes. Current research priorities assessing the safety of these therapies through vigorous testing to identify possible adverse effects. Once safety is confirmed, further studies will evaluate the effectiveness of gene therapy of a viable treatment option. Next is, several studies have already shown that this approach can have very serious health risks such as toxicity, inflammation, and cancer. Despite its potential, gene therapy possesses significant health risks, including toxicity that could harm the body's cells and organs, inflammation in response to the therapy, and increased risk of cancer. If the therapy disrupts normal gene function, this risk underscore the necessity for meticulous research and monitoring in developing gene treatments. Yes, so, because the techniques are relatively new, some risks may be unpredictable. However, medical researchers, institutions, and regulatory agencies are working to ensure that gene therapy research is as safe as possible. So, given that gene therapy is still a relatively new and evolving field, there are uncertainties about its long term effects and the potential for unpredictable risk. So, to address these concerns, researchers, institutions, and regulations bodies are working together to implement comprehensive safety to ensure the benefits of gene therapy while minimizing harm to patients. So, can I ask you, is gene therapy hope for the future? Maybe some said yes, maybe some said no, right? So, yes, gene therapy is a promising treatment option that could have a positive impact on the future of healthcare. Check that gene therapy is a treatment of cure for disorders caused by mutated genes. Check if it involves adding a normally functioning copy of the genes to enough affected cells to restore normal function. Also check its goal is to help correct genetic disease by providing functioning copy of gene. Genetic gene therapy is a revolutionized medical approach aimed at treating or curing disorders that arise from mutated or faulty genes.
So, a pleasant day. I am Rico Sano, the facilitator for today. So, now we will talk about the process of gene therapy. So, As you can see in number one, there was a broken gene. So if there was a broken gene, so the person has a defective or missing gene causing a disease. That's why it needs a new gene. And yes, it needs a new gene. So the new gene down to the virus vector is the new gene is a healthy gene were created and placed inside the virus vector, which is safe and modified. So next is the vector binds the cell. As you can see, the new gene is already inside the virus. So the vector binds the cell as the virus attaches to the cells and enters it inside the bubble. A bubble. So as you can see, there is a bubble. Yes. Yeah. So down to the vector package into vesicle and vesicle breaks down releasing. So this is the vesicle breaks down releasing is the virus. Yes, the bubble. I mean, the bubble breaks up and releasing the virus inside the cell. Yes. So the new gene injected into nucleus. So this part was the virus delivered the new gene into the cell nucleus, fixing the broken gene. So as you can see, the number 5, the gene was already fixed. And that's it. So the next one is the types of gene therapy. So there are two types of gene therapy, the somatic gene therapy and the germline gene therapy. So the first one is the somatic gene therapy. So it says that transfer or dissection of DNA to any cell of the body that doesn't produce sperm or eggs. Effects of gene therapy will not be passed onto the patient's children. So the somatic gene therapy, it involves modifying the genes into the somatic cells. Yes, the body's non-reproductive cells. So the somatic gene therapy, this is commonly most common use or most common type of gene therapy. So the next one is the germline gene therapy. So transfer of a section of DNA to cells that produce eggs or sperms. Effects of gene therapy will be passed onto the patient's children and subsequent generations. So the germline gene therapy, it involves modifying also the genes and germ cells, which is the eggs or sperms. Yes, which can be passed down to future generations. So the germline gene therapy, this is not commonly used in humans due to ethical and safety concerns. So the next one is this is the illustration of germline mutations and somatic mutations. So the germline mutations, this occurs in reproductive cells, the sperm or the eggs. They are passed. Yes, they are passed to the offspring, meaning the entire organisms will carry the mutation. So additionally, half of the individuals, gamete, sperm, or eggs may carry the mutation, allowing it to be inherited by future generations. While the somatic mutations, these occur in non-reproductive cells of the body. Yes, so they affect only a patch of cells. Yes, all right, and the individual and are not passed of offspring because they do not affect the gametes. So the next one is the approaches. Yes, the approaches and gene therapy. So the first one is the ex vivo gene therapy. So the ex vivo gene therapy, the target cells are removed from the patient's body, the genes are fixed or replaced, and the cells are put back into the person. So the ex vivo gene therapy is the patient's cells are taken out, yes, of their body, modified in lab, and then returned to the patient. So this method is often used for treating diseases like cancers or blood pressures or blood disorders. Examples, the sickle cell anemia. So the next one is the in vivo gene therapy. So it direct delivery of genes into the cells of particular tissue in the body. So the in vivo gene therapy, the new gene is delivered directly into the patient's body, while the ex vivo gene therapy, the patient's cells are taken out of their body. So, also in vivo gene therapy, this can be done through injections or other delivery methods. That's it. So next is here's the example, here's the illustration of the in vivo and the ex vivo. So as you can see, the ex vivo of this image is the target organ is the eye. Yes. Next. So in gene therapy, there are three diseases, I guess. Yes. So the gene therapy cures the hemophilia, the heart disease, and the cancer. So the first one is the hemophilia. Hemophilia is a genetic disorder that impairs the blood's ability to clot, leading to excessive bleeding. So, in gene therapy approach, the goal is to introduce a healthy copy of the gene responsible for producing clotting factors into the patient cells. So this would enable the body to produce the clotting factor naturally, reducing or eliminating the need for regular clotting factor infusion. So the next one is the heart disease. So the heart disease is especially coronary artery disease, involves the narrowing or blockage of blood vessels leading to poor heart function. So the gene therapy approach of this is the gene therapy for heart disease aims to improve the heart function by promoting the growth of new blood vessels, the angiogenesis, improving blood flow to the heart. And another approach involves delivering genes that help repair or regenerate heart tissue after a heart attack, potentially reducing damage to the heart muscle. So the third one is the cancer. So the cancer involves uncontrolled cell growth due to mutations in DNA, and it can affect various organs and is often difficult to treat once advanced. So one form of gene therapy involves modifying a patient's immune cells, like for examples, the T cells, to recognize and destroy cancer cells. So this approach is known as CAR T cell therapy, stands for the chimeric antigen receptor T cell therapy. Yes. So the next one is the advantages and disadvantages of gene therapy. So the advantages of gene therapy is to treat diseases, even multiple diseases, and improve someone's life in a better way, and impact can result to permanent impact. So, well, the disadvantages of the gene therapy is first is the unwanted immune system reactions. The vector might recover to their ability to create diseases. Human can develop resistance to the gene and expensive 2.1 million for one-time use. And lastly, the ethical concerns. So what I've said earlier, that the best example of this is the germline gene therapy, which is this is not commonly used in humans due to ethical and safety concerns. So the last one is what we should know about stem cell treatment in the Philippines by Total de Jesus. So I will read first. So in Manila, Philippines, in recent years, it's common to hear beauty doctors in the Philippines offering stem cells therapy as it is a newfound medical fountain of youth, the answer to all medicine worries. So, in various media platforms, so there are bombardment of advertisements from various hospitals and clinics packaging stem cell therapy as cure-all remedy. So, with such medical breakthrough, it begs the question on how equipped we are in offering such services. So we can't help but ask the parameters on distinguishing the real expert from seemingly fly-by-night clinics and medical centers. So the stem cell therapy is a medical treatment that helps the body heal itself by using stem cells. So which are special cells that can develop into different type of cells. So however, it's not a miracle cure. for all health problems or an anti-aging solution as some advertisements claim. So, according to, Filipino-American doctor lawyer by Samuel Bernal, an expert in the fields of regenerative medicine and regulatory law, said that the public should take a lot of precaution. So, be careful, number one, stem cell therapy is not a cure-all or medical procedure. He said in an interview with the Enquirer a few weeks after receiving the 2012 Presidential Award of the Filipino Individuals and Organizations overseas at the Malacanang Palace. So the goal of stem cell therapy is not a longevity anti-aging program. Stem cell therapy is actually trying to allow the body to heal itself, he said. Yes, that's according to him. So, educated at Johns Hopkins and Harvard Medical School, Dr. Samuel Bernal is currently a professor emeritus of medicine at the University of California, Los Angeles, member of American Association of Clinical Oncologists, the American Association of Cancer Researchers, and a recognized cancer investigator with the U.S. National Institutes of Health. So, as a lawyer, his legal expertise includes cases on medical malpractice, the medical product liability, as well as Federal Drug Administration or the FDA and Federal Trade Commissions or FTC regulations and the testing, approval, advertising, and marketing of health products. So, Dr. Samuel Bernal, he is a Filipino-American expert in medicine and law, emphasizes the need for caution. Yes, he emphasizes the needs for caution. He explained that stem cell therapy focuses on understanding and addressing problems at a molecular level to help the body recover. So he also warns the public to be careful about clinics. Yes, he also warns the public to be careful about clinics or advertisements that overpromise results, as the treatment is just one part of a larger approach to modern medicine. So, also he explained that stem cell treatment requires analyzing at the molecular level what is causing the problem or what could be done to prevent the problem. Also, he said that stem cells are just a small part of the molecular approach to medicine. So, it means that stem cells are just one part of a modern medicine which looks at how the body works at a tiny molecular level. They help with healing, but they're not the only method used to treat diseases. And that's it. Thank you so much.